From Trinidad and Albania to real estate, Shaq and Kelly brings you Smart Money Approach.
Hey everybody, what's up, what's up? It's your boy Shaq from Smart Money Approach with my beautiful co-host,
Kelly.
And today we have no one allied. We actually have a pretty cool guy. His name is Chris. He calls himself the Airbnb mentor. Yup. I'm really excited to have you all hear his story. So we're gonna pull him in right now and we're gonna start the show.
Yep.
Hey, how you doing this morning? How you doing?
Fired up, man. Fired up. Look where I'm at. Look at this view here.
Wow.
San Diego, California. You know, got the Pacific Ocean here, so I'm pretty pumped.
Dang, yo. We wish we were out there with you right now. Enjoying the weather.
Where are you guys located right now?
Right now we are here in Germany.
Oh, you guys are in Germany.
Yeah. We are out here in Germany. So please introduce yourself, tell the people who you are.
Who am I right now, or where did I come from? Because that's a what do you guys what do you think you guys want? What would be the best part? Where I came from to where I'm at today, or where I'm at today?
Let's jump into like who you are right now, and then we're going to take them back to the past and then bring it back all back.
All right, we're going to take them back in a bit. All right, but we want to start right now where we're at. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, let's roll. Right now, I'm a full-time real estate investor. You know, I invest in short-term rentals. That's my space, is the Airbnb business. And this business started as a necessity, you know, after 2 failed startups. So I'm a full-time real estate investor, and I also help people get their short-term rentals and get their real estate business up and running in this space. So that's where I'm at today. So yeah, a little bit about me.
Wow. You by chance, like, how many people like have you like helped so far? Like, let's say the past 3-4 years, like has it been like just like startups or like people who was like already in the game and you brought them in like to this side of the world? Like, who like have you helped like bring in so far? Was it just startups, or was like people who already like well established who were just trying to get into your realm?
Let me make sure. Can you ask the question one more time so I make sure I answer it appropriately?
So you said you normally help people come into your realm, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
Rentals. So is it just people who are now beginning, or is it just people who have also been established, let's say, in the long-term rentals as well?
Yeah, we start with the elementary and then we go to the PhDs, man. So pretty much we talk with people, right? So we talk with people who don't know anything about real estate. Of course, those would be the individuals that take my training that I have, which is the Short-Term Rental Academy. Okay, so those individuals who are, you know, just an adolescent to real estate would be established on that particular thing. Then we have those sophisticated individuals who know what they want, are pre-existing investors, and they want a taste of the short-term rental game, but don't have the time to put to these type of assets. So they invest in our syndicate, which we have pre-existing rentals. I don't know if you guys check that out on my profile, and they just invest in our pre-existing rental portfolio, and we pay them out of cash flow every single month. But then you have the players who are the PhDs. I'm talking about guys who are a sophisticated, accredited investor, and they're investing in our lending program that we have for the short-term rental game. So there's 3 components to it, you know. Great question, Shaquille.
One-stop shop. I like it.
One-stop shop. I'm the Walmart of real estate.
Well, I like that. You know what I'm saying? I like that a lot.
We want to bring it like back a little bit to when you first started, or even a little bit before that, like how you come up with like trying to invest in real estate, or what made you go into it.
You know what? You can even like go back all the way back. Like, let's hear about you.
Oh, you guys want to take it back to when Chris Thomas was a baby boy? That's what you guys want? That's what the audience wants?
That's what
oh, man.
Like people from the ground up, like how you came to be the mogul you are today.
Oh, he gave me the mogul name too, man. This is going to be hard. This is going to be hard to you left me up in a pinnacle that I can't reach, man. All right. So, I'm sorry. I didn't even catch it. Is your wife, right? I'm right.
Kelly.
What's your name? I'm so sorry.
Kelly.
Kelly? Pleasure to meet you, Kelly. That's my auntie's name, so that's going to be easy to remember. All right. All right. So a great question, Kelly. Let me tell you, it all didn't start like this, gang. You know, my mother had me at 16 years old and had me very young. So she didn't know how to raise a child. And, you know, the streets were my parenting, you know what I mean? So I looked up to people that, you know, you shouldn't look up to as a child, and saw some things that a child shouldn't see. And it led me into the position that I'm at today. But to touch on some things that have happened in my life to lead me up to the person that's happened today, I've been an entrepreneur since I was a kid, 8 years old, selling clothes at the corner to provide food for my family. And that started at like 8. And then I turned 15 and I started selling fake bus passes. So, I never finished high school. I don't know if I said that to you, but I sent that to you in the bio. But I was making a teacher's salary at 15 years old. I was making like 7-10 grand a month at 15, selling fake bus passes on the corner. So that was my trap house, you know? You know?
What a bull trap house.
Yeah, exactly, brother. It was, that was my hustle, man. And, I had the Cadillac at 15, was rolling, and that has served me to where I'm at today. And you know what's crazy? Shaquille, let me touch on something, Kelly, that you asked, because that's a really good question. I do these podcasts all the time, and they never bring you back to where it started, right? Never. They just talk about where you're at today, right? But where we're at today it's congruent to how we grew up. My lack of resources and my how can I understand the lack of financial education has served me today as that captivated my creativity. Because when you have a lack of resources, only way you can think of is to be what? Resourceful, right? So, and not to discredit those who grew up in great families, households, and all that stuff. That stuff's great too. But it's really served me to where I'm at today, to have this unfair advantage to other people who have not faced the trauma that I have faced in my life. Because when things go bad in my life, I'm already prepared for it.
We have the true dog in us, say like
Yeah.
that hustle that everybody else who didn't have it before, we already grew up with it. So while they're learning about it, we already have it, and we just over here steamrolling.
Right, exactly, brother. Right, exactly, Shaquille. Right. Look, man, if we take an L, we can take it. And we can. Most people can't take an L. It blows my mind. Most people cannot take a loss. I'm like, man, one of my buddies lost like $25K on some deal a couple weeks ago, and he was crying about it. I was like, dude, go get another deal, bro. Like, come on, man, you're playing little money, bro. 25K. Come on, dog. So that was the deal with that. But yeah, man, that's pretty much where I came from East San Diego, North Park, was on welfare, EBT, all that good stuff. And you know what's crazy is less than 2 years ago, now it's over 2 years now, I was up back in the same position. I was on my grandma's couch on welfare, making $200, $300 a month. I was taking money from, mothers who need that, and after 2 failed startups. And this business happened by accident. I typed in how to get rich in real estate. Airbnb came up. I was like, you know what? Let me use my my engineering mind. And I said, why don't I just find people with money, find properties for them, and let's get the hustle going. And I made money, bro. I went from like negative 13 cents in my bank account, Kelly, to $38,000 in the matter of like 27 days. Imagine that. Come on. Guys, negative 13 cents in your bank account, and 27 days later, you did all this work for all these people, and you have $40,000. Who cuts that kind of? I was like, man. So I was excited. Let me just tell you. Me and wifey were having a good time. Let me just tell you.
I feel you on that one.
Would you say coming where you came from and all the stuff that you went through were also like you were trying to find a way out of it? Is there sort of like a reason or a goal for you why you went into real estate or rentals?
Man, she asked good questions, man. She did her research, dude.
Right?
She asked these.
She's a telling you. And I just try to go back and forth for a bit. She's a...
I wasn't prepared for these ones. These are good questions. Wow. All right. So your question is, was there some particular goal, and why did I want to get into real estate? Sorry, the Coast Guard's right here. So you know what? The goal was of course, to achieve what everybody wants. Come on, gang. Nobody wants to be a millionaire. We all want to live like millionaires. We want autonomy. What we want is complete control of our lives. That is the ultimate goal for everything. That's why you guys have the house on your shirts, right? And near your heart, because that's going to provide an avenue for you so that you guys can share your heart even more and not be tied to a job or a 9-to-5, right? So that is why I got into it. I looked at the richest people in the world, Kelly, and I saw that it's done through real estate. Real estate was where it's at. The most richest and wealthiest people. They just came out with the report. You saw Jeff Bezos, right? He came out for the richest man in the world. Guys, that's not from his company. That's from his real estate too. Most of his portfolio is in real estate. He owns he owns countries, guys. Like, guys are like, my buddy's like, most of his assets are from Amazon. I was like, dude, no, they're not, bro. They're from his web service, his Amazon web service, and real estate. Dude's a billionaire in real estate. Owns I think 300 or 200 billion in real estate, something crazy like that. So who does those type of numbers, bro? So that's what I looked up, and that's where I'm at today, if that answers your question appropriately. So my goal was financial freedom.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure you had a team around you, maybe your wife that you mentioned, who was somebody that motivated you to pursue all of this?
Pain is the greatest. Pain is the greatest. You guys are in the military. Pain is the greatest indicator that there's a need for change. That is my greatest team member. I look at all the trauma that has happened in my life. Every bad thing that's happened in my life. If I keep my EBT card in my wallet just to know that I need to still work. I still have my Payless shoes inside my car to know that I need to work. So having that pain and that trauma has been my team member. But a direct team member is, of course, Miss Martha Vega. The wifey has been loyal to the soil since day one.
Wifey.
Yeah, shout out to wifey, man. She's been loyal to the soil when I had absolutely nothing. And I was dead broke, trying to start these companies that failed and lost this $30,000 to $70,000 in debt. And she held it down, was working a job. It's just like, don't go get a job, keep crushing it in your endeavors. So that's my number one team member. And then people like you, Shaquille and Kelly, you're looking up to you guys and watching you guys on the internet and, seeing what you guys are up to and using that advice to make it appropriate to what I'm doing. So that kind of stuff. No direct team members. So,
Wow. Well, thank you. We still trying to get our way up, climb our way up, and so I was asked a question the other day, right? Shaq, you only have $8, why you're doing it, what can you give people? I was like, look, right? There are people in my position or even like a bit behind, and they always want to get in real estate. But they always hear all these stories hey, don't get into real estate because you don't want to be a landlord, this or that or other. But I want to make this to show people hey, from point A to point EZ, wherever I get to. This is how I did it. And all you got to do is a blueprint. Plug your name in. And the way is yours. You know what I'm saying? To get to this part right here. That's a target. So thank you so much for seeing us out. But yeah, we still out here trying to make it to where you are.
You guys, I'm telling you, man, you guys are going to do it, man. You just got to find an easy way to get in. I'm the complete opposite of what people, when these people ask me on Instagram, I get hit in my DM probably 50 to 100 times a day. How do I get started in real estate? Find the easiest way to get in. They're like, what do you mean? There's no shortcut to success. Yeah, there is. There's a shortcut. Find somebody who's already done it. Find somebody who's already done it. You want to know the secret to success? Success leaves clues. You don't need to reinvent. That's what I did for 7 years, and I was broke. I tried to do it myself, try to figure it out. No, I just found somebody who was successful at it. You copied what they did, made it my own with a little bit of swag to it. You know how we do, Shaq, right? Add a little bit of swag to it, and then people liked it. So, and it just rolled, man. And the secret to success, man, is to find somebody who's already done it, bro, and just make it your own.
I feel you on that one. I definitely feel you on that one. So our next big question of mine, right, is so what's the one what's the biggest mistake, what's the biggest learning point you have been in so far to where like it has probably like helped you propel yourself even further forward?
Can you ask the question one more time? Because there was a speedboat passing by me.
That good weather, that beach, I feel you. So what is the biggest learning point you have came across so far that you would like to share with the world?
The biggest learning point? The biggest learning point. Okay, great question. Man, you guys got the fire questions, man. Where'd you guys get this off of? Did you guys get this off of Google?
Nah, so, so now you're like, basically, we had to change the questions up for you because like our questions were pretty much more a little more simple, but then we like read your bio, see who you are, and we want to like really construct the questions so where we will get the most out of this time here. So whoever watches the podcast will be like, you know what? That was a great podcast, and I gotta go look this dude up because he's the can't say the word, but yeah, he's the actually I can say shit. This is my podcast.
You know, hey man, you met a real player, man. That's why some people, you know, I just started Social Media Shack in 2019 in October. I barely started social media, you know, and it just took off, you know. What's the greatest learning curve I can share with somebody, right? The question. Mm-hmm. The greatest learning curve is, can I go off on a tangent on? Is that okay?
You please. Right. My ears are plugged in.
Cool. So let's check it out. Look, audience that is listening right now, what is the biggest learning curve? That's exactly it, is the keys. Keep educating yourself. Keys. Keep educating yourself. Collect data every single day, gang. Look, I know if a person's serious and I can see it in their eyes. If I know a person's serious, if I know they're writing down their goals every single day. I know if a person is serious, if they're collecting data on their daily activities. Are you collecting that data? Facebook's collecting data on you and putting ads in front of you. Why don't you collect your own data to see what you can modify to accelerate your life? The biggest learning curve I learned is that you have to collect data on a daily level to accelerate your success, okay? Real estate. The biggest thing in the learning curve is you want to cut the learning curve in half. Get there faster by finding somebody who's already achieved what you want. It blows my mind how many people YouTube binge and all this stuff. If you want to get in wholesaling, find the best wholesaling person. If you want to get in flipping, find the best flipping person. If you want to get in traditional real estate, single family residence, find someone who's crushing it, reach out to them. And if they don't reach out, find somebody who they know, who they can get you in contact with them, right? So to answer your question directly, the biggest learning curve that I had to learn from 7 years of being broke is you need people that have already done it to show you how it can be done, because success leaves clues. You do not have to reinvent the cycle, right? Mm-hmm. So if that answers your question appropriately.
It did, and even furthermore, let's say like a time machine was invented, right? And you could hop back to walk cross paths with 17-year-old Chris, like riding like it is caddy rolling around, and you were able to be like, hey man, look, right, I know you don't know me, but I know you. What would you tell him in that very second?
I have to admit, man, this is some of the best questions I have ever received on a podcast, man. 17-year-old Chris, what would I do? What would I say to myself, man, is start earlier. You know, start in real estate earlier. Find winners. The younger self, to all my young people out there, please listen to this, and hopefully this message gets heard around the world. Stay away from pigeons and soar with eagles.
Let's go. Look, right, we get educated right now. Let's go. I like that. So stay from pigeons.
Because pigeons get the leftovers, right? And the eagles.
Right now, those crumbs.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, they get the crumbs, man. And that's how most people think that their life needs to be, is their existing circumstance is their forever future. And 17-year-old self, I would borrow from the future. Seeing myself as that person that I am today, the Chris Thomas, where I was dead broke with 13 people in a 2-bedroom apartment at 17 years old, right? When my mother was a drug addict on methamphetamine and chose men over me, the 17-year-old self, is if I could see myself as this successful real estate investor on a podcast, talking to two beautiful people and saying, hey, everything's going to be A-okay. But the way to get there faster is to surround yourself with winners. That is the way it's done. I was hanging around with the bums and the losers and the gangbangers and trying to think I was cool, which that's what you do at adolescence. You think that's appropriate because that's your environment. And it might be uncomfortable to be with a different race. Let's be honest. I grew up with Black and Latinos. There wasn't no white people around, you know? And, you know, and there was no other race that can show me, hey, you know what? Let's fly this way, man. Let's roll. Having these preconditions that were put in my mind as a 17-year-old kid that this type of person is bad. I'm half white. You know, I'm half German. You know, my dad's white. So seeing different perspectives of the world, and most 17-year-olds that are in my position, the people that look like us, Shaq, need to, you know, recognize that you got to surround yourself with other people that are going to change your mindset. And that's pretty much it, man, is to surround yourself with winners, find people in the circle. And the way to do that is the internet or somewhere where there's a wealthy area in your neighborhood. That's how you find people. So
I'm really happy you touched on that, yo. I'm a true believer in interaction osmosis.
yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
Like,
That's true.
normally when you surround yourself with people who are where you're trying to be, something about it just like they're trying to like pull you up to where they are. And whenever it's the other way around, everybody else is.
Yes, that's so true. I never thought about it like that. You know, yes, that's so true, brother. How'd you come up with that? That's so true.
I don't know. I'm a here, dear.
All right. Hey, you know what's crazy, man, is you know what helps me level up is when you talk to a winner, man, when you talk to a real player, bro. I'm talking about, I just got off a conversation with the guy who owns a multifamily syndicate. And you know, we're on the phone. He's asking me all these questions, you know, these real estate questions that, you know, that PhD. You can't be an adolescent talking to a guy that's, you know, PhD. Remember I told you guys about that in the beginning of this talk? This guy was the player, man. And he was like, and I asked him a question, just nonchalantly. I was like, so, you know, curious, you know, I have 217 rentals. They're doing this type of cash flow. He's asking me preliminary questions. Are you an accredited investor? Yes, check, right? And I asked him, I say, hey, you know, nonchalant, hey, how many rentals do you guys have? He goes, oh, we only have 11,000. Only 11,000. I was like, what the fuck? I'm sorry. I was like, only 11,000. I was like, I didn't want to seem like I was a rookie. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. He's like, yeah, only 11,000. I was like, oh man, dude, these guys are players, bro. So, you know, when you know, to answer, to touch on what you said, man, you think you're a player till you talk to a real player. You know what I mean? So, talking about 2-3 billion in assets, you're like, that's a player, man. You know, so yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pretty sure for the time that you've been a real estate investor, there was probably a lot of partnerships that you were into. What would you say was something that you bring to the table when it comes to partnerships?
That I bring to the table? Great question. Primarily, it's not based on me. It's based on the partnership and what we're trying to accomplish. The partnership's never about the individual. It's about the mission and what we want to accomplish, you know. And that's pretty much it. You know, it's about the mission and what we're trying to accomplish. And, you know, can I be an asset to that mission? If I'm not an asset to that mission, then I'm a liability. And you know what we need to do? We need to be executed. So what do I bring individually to a partnership? Kelly, to answer your question directly, is I bring that fire, man. You know, if you want to get the deal done, you know, I'm the type of guy, if you need the finance, you know, the sales and marketing component, I'm your winner. If you're looking for guest services and communications, I'm not your winner. You know, but if it comes to making money and, you know, and leveraging debt and making more money and sales and marketing and things like that, and making the brand or the thing we're trying to accomplish, the mission, look good, I'm your man. Let's win, right? So that's what I'm good at. But it's all about the mission. It's not about Chris. It's not about the individual. It's a collective to accomplish this particular mission. And am I adequate to fit that picture in that mission?
So, two questions at once that's combined. You said earlier that we should continuously keep on educating ourselves, right? Putting something up here every day. Along with your book, can you talk about that for a bit? And then once you're done with that, what other platforms do you think people can learn from?
Okay, so to answer your initial question, speak about my book, and the secondary question was, what other platforms can they learn about this business model or myself?
Actually, not both.
Okay,
Well,
so
I
my
guess three
book.
in one.
Okay, dope. So my book, Short-Term Rental Riches, man, it's pretty much like a blueprint to short-term real estate. You know, it talks about what rental arbitrage is, you know, how this, you know, the biggest player in the game for rental arbitrage is Amazon. No, they don't own 97% of their products, but people rent that space to sell their products. When's the last time you guys bought something from Amazon? Do you remember?
I think last week. Yeah, last week.
Do you think they own that product? No. A player was on there and they sold it to you. You know, and that's what we do, but in real estate, you know, so it shows that person that Amazon of real estate is renting out these units legally, okay, and then putting them on short-term rental sites. And that book shows you step by step how to do that. If you're not a reader, you know, I have the training, which is 2.5 years of experience, and an 18-hour course, which is the Short-Term Rental Academy, which shows people how to get started in short-term rentals. Secondly, the second question was, collect my memory one more time, Shaq.
So, how do people learn about you?
Get Chris Thomas. Everything's at Get Chris Thomas. You know, everything. Go to Facebook, hit it on a TikTokery, hit it on YouTube. You know, your man's live. Every social media platform you can fathom. It's at Get. You know, it's at Get Chris Thomas, man. And you know, you can learn a lot about the Airbnb business. But there's a lot of winners out there, man. There's a lot of people out there you can learn from. Let me actually touch on that. What people can learn from. There's some books I highly recommend that people read, okay, beyond my book. So, of course, my book, Short-Term Rental Riches, it's cool. It's a great book. But some really great books that, you know, just outpace me is of course, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, that you need to read that book. Because if you don't have the mindset and the mental fortitude to face this stuff every day, the rejection, the things that might happen, you need that book to keep your mind on what you're trying to accomplish. And that book will help you personally develop. And I feel that it has a lot of things in there that help a person. Second book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I don't know if you guys read that book. That's a phenomenal book. But to touch on that book's great. But I recommend his second book, which is called The Cash Flow Quadrant, which shows you the financial aspect. That's the great book. That's the one I really recommend. Rich Dad, Poor Dad's kind of a story. But if you want actual actionable steps, Cash Flow Quadrant. And there's a third book which changed my life, which I highly recommend everybody to read. It's called The Millionaire Fast Lane by MJ Demarco. It will change your life. Absolutely. So those books. And the last but not least is Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. It's a book of understanding who you are, where you came from, what decisions you make, critical analysis, why you act the way you do, why people act the way they do. Look, man, those, you know, that's the way, just those books. But, and of course there's YouTube. You know, there's a plethora of information on, you know, Airbnb rentals and real estate. You know, you don't need to go to college or even high school, you know. You don't need that stuff. But, you know,
Yes.
I'm rambling.
2 out of 5 of those books we have read, Rich Dad Poor Dad and The Cash Flow Quadrant. But to jump to the last book though, I'm somebody who is very vocal about what I'm doing to any and everybody who I cross paths with that would listen, right? And yesterday I was on something called staff duty. It's a 24-hour period that every soldier does every once in a while. And I started speaking with this individual who was on there with me, and he's of a similar mindset. And he mentioned that book to me yesterday, and I added it to my reading collection. I'm even more excited to go read it now with my wife.
Which one? Maxwell Maltz, the Cybernetics?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that book's phenomenal. You and Kelly would love that book. That book changed the way, it blew my mind. I was like, holy dude, like a lot of things we do is from our, get the book, dude. You guys are gonna be blown away. I was like, wow, I never thought about this before. Now it just, yeah. It's a great, I'm not going to give you a spoiler alert. Pretty much it's like this. Pretty much it's like this, you know, it's like the, you know, whatever your favorite movie is times 10x, you know? So I'm telling you, it's a great book.
Definitely, we will totally read that one. So I think that was all for the questions. Do you like to put anything else out there?
You guys have no more questions for these great questions for me?
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I got one more. So
You guys want something tangible, right?
yeah, I got one more out there. So if you ever came across other investor, right, who just wanted a single sentence of advice, I need you to like sum up just a single sentence of advice to somebody who's already an investor and listening to this podcast right now. Just a single sentence.
Being broke is hard and achieving success is hard. Choose your hard.
Hey guys, I was totally unrehearsed. That came off my dome and directed to him, and he blew it away. So I want to thank you so much, Chris, for coming on here.
1 second, let me stop you. Let me stop you there, Shaq. Let me ask, because I want to ask you guys a question, because I had a couple of myself, but I'm just going to ask you one, if that's fair.
Yeah.
Please.
What inspired you guys to reach out to me? What inspired you?
Okay, so I can go with this one. We post all these posts all the time and basically do hashtag real estate or hashtag this or hashtag that, right? So like, you know what, babe, we have had like our partner on here. We had somebody who uses VA loan to basically like buy a $1.25 million quadruplex. We had like somebody who's doing Forex. I was like, you know what? Let's see like who's out there. Who can we connect with out there? So then I got on my Instagram and started like scrolling through posts after post, and then I came across three. I came across old school real estate. I came across yours, and I came across a guy's named Brad. I went and like checked out all of yours, and I sent messages to two of y'all, yourself and Brad. And both of y'all hit me back and was like, yeah, sure. And then we started having that conversation. But I clicked on your page though, and what like really like opened me up to like trying to like even proceed was the number of units you had for Airbnb and how like somebody is out here doing that, like through that system, and then like even like through like this type of time and still out there doing it, like with the whole COVID going on and this and that and the other. So that was one of the things that drew me to your page, like the hashtag, and then I saw a post and I just deep dived into your page.
It needed to happen. It needed to happen, man. It needed to happen. We're players, man. That's why, man. We needed it. This conversation should have happened a long time ago. You know, this conversation should have happened when you guys first established this podcast. I should have been day number one. You know?
The first one on here.
I'm telling you, man, I wanted to be the Genesis, you know? So, you know, that's amazing, man. You know, thanks for sharing that, you know. I had another question. Where do I find this podcast? Is it on Apple Podcasts and all that stuff? Or
It is on Apple Podcasts, and it's going to get on Spotify soon. Like, it's being currently under review, and it's going to go up soon, I guess.
And people are going to be able to see our beautiful faces, that beautiful scenery in your background on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
awesome. Hey, check this out.
All social medias.
You guys are going to post. I'm telling you, man, you guys got to blast my face everywhere. I want everywhere TV, even in Bangor, Maine. I want them to see me, you know? You know, I want them to see the face of Chris Thomas, man. If you guys don't know who it is, they got to recognize this is the real deal, you know? So I come from a lot of places that a lot of people, these people come from. A lot of my students come from where I come from, you know, unfortunate situations to now, you know, balling. I have this like 19-year-old kid who's from like Nashville, grew up, his dad like abused him and stuff. And guys just killing it, man. And just like, come on, who can recover from stuff like that, dude? Like that's mental persecution, right? But he found a way to get over that. And it's just, I'm fortunate to be in the, you know, position that I am and to, you know, give back with that, with things I do like my book and my training and all that stuff, which is, you know, pretty cool. I do want to add one more thing before we run here, and one team member that, I owe all my credit to and has been down with loyal to the soil since day one, right? There is no Chris Thomas without Martha Vega. Okay. There is no Chris Thomas without Martha Vega. I'll say it loud and proud, to be men and have a woman that's, loyal to the soil since the day one and
Preach.
and has empathy, right? And selfless and, being a giver. And those are the things that us as men need, because we have certain needs that we need to do. And it's just an amazing feeling when you have somebody who's just so selfless and giving and loving and that just wants the best for you. And that is very hard to find. And those are rare. And those are what we call diamonds in the rough, right? So we have to go through all the dirt and all the trash and all the stuff and all the things, that we do as men to finally find that one where you're just like, man, this is what I'm going to keep forever. And I think this just might be it. So I just want to commend Martha if she hears this here and let her know that I love her very much. And I thank you for everything that you have done to the person I am today.
Wow. Martha, thank you for being the support that Chris also needed. But yeah, wow. I like, no, my clothes. Yeah, like, wow, this podcast has definitely been our most intriguing, and I think it's going to continue that way until we have you back here for probably like for our 100th. So that way we can at least put you in there in the proper spot as well. But yeah, because no one never asked us questions like reverse questions either. We were just the ones asking the questions as well. Chris, from Kelly and I. For coming on here and doing this with us. I believe that with your face on there and with what we spoke about today, this is probably going to be our #1 video for a long time to come until we have you back on for that 100th one.
Remember? #1 video for a long time to come, Shaq. You better watch it, man. I'm coming after you, man. #1 video for a time to come. You mean this is going to be the #1 video forever on this podcast, man?
Nah, because
nobody's going to top Chris Thomas, man. I'm #1 in the game, man. You better know, recognize it.
Remember my words. I will hit you back up. Maybe a year and a half, and I'll be like, hey, Chris, this is Shaq again. We said we would do the 100th one together, the anniversary, of all. So that one is only going to be the one that tops it. Because that time, you'll be like, yeah, I only have 20,000 units. So,
yeah. We should be at, I'm glad you brought that up. To end this conversation, man, we should be at, 500 units by the end of November. We're at 217 now. We're raising a lot of outside capital at this point in our juncture. So, it's about to happen. It's about to pop off, man. We're going to be at 500 units. Year and a half, man, we'll be way over a G. We'll be way over 1,000 units, hopefully 1,500 within a year and a half. So that's when, I'll probably, be a whole different person at that point, so. right here, it's a party, a year and a half from right now, it might be a festival, man. So I'm telling you, man, let's drive together and let's jump on that 100th call. Kelly and Shaq, who appreciate you. Chris Thomas, tell your friends, tell everybody if they don't know who I am, follow me at Get Chris Thomas, and let's keep the party rolling. This podcast has been electrifying, and I'm glad I was on it.
Let's go. I appreciate it, yo. Well,
thank you so much once again for being on it, and we will see you next time.
Likewise, Kelly. I'll see you. All right, guys. Hey, send me the information. Send me the information of where I can find the podcast and all that stuff. This talk and let's jive.
We will. Let's go.
All right, guys. Bye now.
From Trinidad and Albania to real estate, Shaq and Kelly brings you Smart Money Approach.